guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm covering 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After season 4 episode 10. Sorry I'm putting this out very late because the next episode is actually airing tonight, but I've just been so busy this past week that I haven't had a chance to film. So I'm going to do this episode today, and then probably tomorrow I'll recap episode 11, which I think is the season finale. So with that being said, this episode was kind of still so-so. I'm not really a big fan of this season, and I'm just happy to get this over and done with because I prefer to watch 90 Day Fiance the other way, in my personal opinion. And I think 2 hours of content for this show particularly, and for the people who are on this show, it's a little bit too long. So with that being said, let's get started. So let's get through all the crap that I didn't care about. Paul and Russ, she talks to Juan, and Juan is rude to Russ. That's kind of it with them. Next is Nicole and Azin. Nicole talking to Azin with her purple hair, which it's not the best shade of purple, and it kind of looks like it's fading. I don't really like how it looks. She's talking to Azin about looking at getting Morocco tickets, and he kind of says, okay, give me 1 month and I guess you can do it. He's said that he's excited about marriage and like 4th time's a charm and stuff, but like, I don't know, sometimes the way that Azin reacts to Nicole, you would think that like someone in the background has like a gun to his head and he's like, yeah, okay, cool. And then Nicole's like, so, I don't know, Nicole's being her usual delusional self. She finally brought up schooling, because May's gonna be needing to go to some kind of school, but I still feel like the situation has not been addressed. So that's kind of all with them. Next we have Colt and Larissa. So, Larissa, this whole episode is giving Colt and Debbie the cold shoulder. She has her arraignment. She talks to, I think his name is Nick, the attorney again. He kind of explains the options they have, and that it's more serious because this is the 2nd offense with the same person and stuff like this. But it seems like everything got dismissed, everything was okay in the grand scheme of things, but through the whole process she did not communicate with Debbie or Colt. She just stayed in her room. She was just to herself, and like, I can understand from her point of view, because like, if you're the one who got me in this situation again, I don't really want to talk to you, and your mother is not helping the situation with her being around and being there, so I'd prefer, and I'd be much happier with her gone. So please don't bother me about talking to you or communicating with you, because I feel like you put me in this situation. Mind you, from now the other point of view, I don't know how Larissa is acting. If she's being very erratic and crazy, I could see someone trying to handle the situation. They might have not handled it in the best way, but for her to kind of reach out on social media and kind of make it seem like Colt is like kidnapping her or keeping her against her will is a little bit extra too. So that happens, and Debbie's trying to figure out what's going on. Cole's trying to figure out what's going on. But Colt is also evaluating the situation and figuring out whether they need to be together or not. I don't know why he's figuring this out now. if my husband gets arrested twice because of some type of violence between us and we can't just argue like normal people, I don't think we should be together. So I feel like Colt has finally come to his senses and realized, you know what, I don't think this is working. And I think that it kind of would be best if we go our own ways. I'm very, very happy that he's finally come to that conclusion, even though it's the end of the season and they were already on the show for another season and they ended up getting married. I'm just happy that he is coming to that conclusion because I don't see them together in the long run. In current time, they're not together, and I think that's the best for both of them. So next we have Andre and Elizabeth. So Andre's father gets to meet Elizabeth's family. He has put some kind of preconceived notions in his head, even though his dad is kind of looking at it with like a clear mind. Elizabeth's family has prepared food for him and fireworks as a celebration. It sucks that he can't speak English, but Andre is doing a good job at communicating and translating exactly what he's saying. You can tell that his dad is very level-headed and very reasonable compared to Andre. Andre, I feel like throughout the whole season, he's been playing this like macho man character and not living up to it. He's been very, I feel sometimes rude and aggressive towards Elizabeth, and I feel like it's kind of his way or the highway. So I'm really happy that his dad knows how he is, and his dad was taking everything he told him with a grain of salt because he's like, I know you're aggressive and I know how you stay, so this family can't be doing everything wrong. So the family getting together, they were very nice, they were very kind, and then you had Andre putting in his 2 cents like, oh, but when I was here you weren't doing none of this and stuff like this. I can't remember the first time they were introduced into the show, but Andre been having that attitude since I can remember him, and he's been very standoffish from what I can remember. So with that being said, I don't know if I would be as welcoming versus someone who is entering this relationship with a clear mind with no conceived notions. So yeah, that happens. Then they bring up Elizabeth's birth. So she's going to be giving birth soon, and she has decided that she doesn't want her sister or any type of family member in the room with her, only Andre, because it's a private moment, which, like, those are all the words he's feeding her, because the way that her family dynamic is, her sisters are always there for each other. The family is always there for each other. The family does not like separate and like, you do your thing here, you do your thing here. I feel like this is what Andre wants, and what he wants is what he's gonna get. I feel like Elizabeth doesn't want to argue with it, because it's a lot of energy arguing with him, especially someone who's not willing to see the other side. So she's kind of just like, yes, it will just be you and me. And then he's there, well, make sure you talk to them, because you said you're strong and all that, but blah 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 blah. You also said you're the man of the house, but you're not making money, so like we could go back and forth with this type of stuff, so don't go there. It's sad if she really would want at least her mom there, and because of him she's not gonna allow her mom to be there. But aside from my husband, like, your husband can be there for you, can be a support system for you, but I feel like your mother, who actually gave birth multiple times and has been in that situation, I feel like might be a better support system when it comes to that. Not saying that Andre shouldn't be there, but I would say like at least her mom type of thing. But that doesn't matter. So I think next episode Elizabeth will be having her baby, so we'll see what her ultimate decision was. And last but not least, we have Pedro and Chantal. So Chantal goes to meet with what's his name? Odeb or something? Obdeb or something? That friend she had. They go together to go meet Pedro and his friends. They meet at some kind of like bar restaurant thing, and you can already tell that it's a little bit of tension in the air. They're doing a good job of trying to accommodate her based on like the English and a bit of Spanish, and they're kind of talking back and forth. It seems very awkward and very weird. Unfortunately, I no longer like Nicole. Her name's Nicole. I think it's her name, Nicole. His sister. If her name is not Nicole, I'll be calling her Nicole, because she did her brother dirty. It's one thing to be like, I don't like your wife, so like keep her away from me. They don't live in the same country, so this is not something that you have to be faced with all the time. But and Pedro being the husband relationship, when you know that girl beside you likes you, what you should have been doing is making sure you were beside your wife, making sure she got the stepping, because you're putting it in her head where there could be potential of you guys being together, because she's watching your marriage fall apart and you doing nothing to keep it together. So then she likes you and she's chilling on you and touching you and stuff like this. She's gonna think, okay, he just needs to get through this and then I can have him. Pedro should have put his foot down and said, no, I need to be with my wife, type of thing. So there's obviously bad blood between Chantal's friend and Pedro's friend. He was an old family friend, but seems like they don't like each other anymore. Anyways, who cared? That has nothing to do with the situation. So they're talking about kind of why they were there and like the problems they have with their family. I feel like it's really weird to talk about this when you're being introduced to friends and stuff like this, to be like, okay, so like this is our like a problem. This is our relationship problem. But they're actually doing a good job of helping them kind of navigate through this. I thought they would just be on Team Pedro, but they were actually kind of like the voice of reason in a sense. So, Chantal and Nicole get into an argument again based on the whole family fight and stuff like this. At this point, it's just we're gonna have to agree to disagree, because there's nothing you can do to kind of change any of their minds. So then Chantal is like, sorry, not Chantal, Nicole's like, oh, okay, you want to do this? You want to do this? Well, look at what Pedro was doing. And shows the video of Pedro dirty dancing with that girl. And I didn't know, which they brought to my attention, that the girl's face wasn't in the photo. Because I also was like, why is Chantal not addressing the girl? She's right there, right beside her man. But she doesn't see who it is. And so Chantal is obviously like heartbroken and upset, so she leaves. While she leaves, Pedro's friends are telling him like, yo, go check on your girl. This is your wife. You're trying to make it work. How are you having her walk out here and not doing anything about it? And he's kind of looking dumb for a lot of it. So he catches up to her and he says, okay, let's talk. And she's like, okay, yeah, let's talk in private in the hotel room. It seemed like Pedro wanted to talk in front of everybody there. And I'm like, the way that I'd be cussing you out, you would want me to talk to you in private. Pedro was trying to, I don't know, make the situation seem like, oh, you know, it was kind of like, it is what it is. But that wasn't the case. Um, they go to the hotel, which Chantal doesn't talk. She ends up sleeping. They meet the next day, and they are trying to make the relationship work. Um, I feel like Pedro is starting to sink in that like what Pedro did was not right, and if you say you want time away from me and you want to breathe, but then I have to worry about you going to dance with another girl, next thing you know you're gonna go kiss another girl, next thing you know you go sleep with another girl, like, you can't be doing that type of thing. So I think Pedro is, it's finally sinking in that he effed up and that he needs to fix this. And then last but not least, we have Chantal. We have Jay and Ashley. So Ashley gets Jay's stuff, packs it up. Jay comes home. Ashley's ready to fight him and stuff like this. Her friend has to hold her back. She doesn't want anything to do with him, like blah blah blah. We've been hearing the same thing since the first time we saw them, like, okay, fine. So Jay can't say anything because he caused it, so it was just kind of like whatever. When he was trying to say like, oh, you need to understand, I was like, shut it up. Don't mention anything. What you should be doing is figuring out how you're going to sleep, like where you're going to sleep next, and how you need to take all your stuff out there. So he's talking to the producers, and then Ashley takes it upon herself to call the cops, which, why? I can understand if he was being aggressive, even if he was saying like, no, I'm not going nowhere. She calls the cops and I kind of at this point felt bad for Jay, because there was no reason for me to feel bad. You cheated on her, she doesn't want to be with you, you need to leave. It is what it is. But I felt bad because Ashley was, the way she was acting, it didn't sit right with me. The way she was just like, I can have you deported and you're gonna leave and blah blah blah. She was acting like the damsel in distress, like with what she was explaining to the cops, and I was like, Ashley, it's not that serious. Like, you said it was over. He agrees. He's gonna take his stuff. He's gonna go. It is whatever. You didn't apply for that other part to his visa, which makes him illegal, but he has no say. He can't do anything about it. So then you're gonna call the police to have him deported and all this stuff. I was like, that's very vindictive. It's one thing to kick him out, but it's one thing to call the police on him and get police involved and try to get immigration involved for him to leave and stuff like this. It doesn't make you feel better. It doesn't heal your heart. It just makes you look like a bitter bitch. I didn't like that, and I was kind of like, oh, so that's how it is when you're, so you're always gonna have kind of like the balls in your court type of mentality of like, you screw up, I'll make a phone call and you're gone out of this country type of thing. So I had the same feelings as Jay. I was just like, why would you call the cops on me? I wouldn't want to be with someone who would call the cops on me for this. It's one thing if he beat you or something. At least Colt has some kind of case on Larissa. But he didn't do anything, and you were the one that was trying to run up on him. So, the police has advised him to collect a couple things and leave. So, I think that's going to happen. Well, that is going to happen, and yeah. They don't need to be together. Like, Ashley, now, I hope you've listened to Jesus. Did Jesus come and tell you that he's cheating on you? Because I don't know why it took this for you to figure it out. I could have told you that he was too young to get married, and that there's a potential for the reputation he has for him to continue it. But you know what? That's none of my business. Anyways, that concludes my recap of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Season 4, Episode 10, I believe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
I'm just a dumb cunt, fucking sick and tired of it. Maybe I could front love, maybe I could buy a zip, maybe I get fucked up. Next time I could save some. Why it's gotta be like this? Why it's gotta be that way? Put it inside. Feel so rise up, banging on that loud.